Shut me up. Shut me up. Shut me up.
But hold up, I got something to say.
Got something to say.
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Shut me up. Shut me up.
All right, what we talking about in episode 4?
So something Moe, I'm getting down with it. I'm back, Joe. I'm back. Hey, I like what's going on right now. I like the people, what the people got to say about us, and what their, the vibes we're getting. The vibe right now is I got something to say, baby. Ron, we are
The voice of the voiceless.
Ron B in the middle. You heard it fresh from Ron B in the middle. This is episode 4, and we're about to just hash out a couple of things. I think the main thing we're going through right now is the whole podcast. I mean, I've been liking personally how we've been getting down. You know what I'm saying? I've been liking the guests here and there, but I've been liking the dynamic between you and I. How do you feel about that?
I like the dynamic between me, but I'm more so like the guests. But I guess we can get the more we get into it. I guess I'm gonna have to get used to it because a podcast really is just the host most of the time, without guests, not all the time.
So, but the thing about it is that before you had a feeling like maybe you wanted to do because we use the connotation we are the voice of the voiceless,
and that's why I wanted to do interviews with a lot of. We can't be the voice of the voiceless if we're not letting the voiceless come on our platform and talk.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is that if we're not doing these stories with individuals and we don't have interesting people coming in, I just feel like first of all, they have to like us before they even decide they're going to come on our platform and deal with us. We got a guy who's locked up in Stateville who hasn't even reached out to us, and he knows what we're doing. And I'm saying, so he'll be a good conversation piece. I know you reached out,
but he
to
can't
his wife.
see. But he
reached
can't
out
see
to his wife.
Right.
And she hasn't reached out to us.
Right.
And she knows what we're doing. Know we're dealing with criminal justice. Knowing that we're dealing with a lot of other different things like that. So we can't just do it with local individuals telling their stories because they're interesting. But people get like, oh yeah, he got locked up, But and then also too, are we fact checking these people? Are we fact checking?
Right.
Are they just coming on with some bogus ass story, and just because they want to just get on and talk about something?
I mean, you're right. You got a point. But I think everybody got something to say.
Yeah, everybody's got something to say.
Everybody.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is that how do we read the way the people just, like I said, the reason I say the podcast is we got to sort of think of a format. I mean, we could put it out there to the fans. We could figure out through people watching which ones they enjoy watching.
And we should do that. Our social media family, I challenge y'all to write in the comment sections on YouTube what you guys would like to see more of. And we're gonna take into consideration all of your suggestions.
Well, I just feel like we personally, before we even get to them and let them decide, we have to decide what we want it to be. Because at the end of the day, we have to be the ones that's coming in here, putting it down. We got to go out and get those interviews. You got to understand how to interview a person. You just can't let a person sit there and talk the whole fucking time. They got to be like, we got to pull out whatever interesting nitbits or nuggets that these individuals have. I mean, I don't know if it's possible because all I'm saying about an interview process, it takes a lot more than just a podcast, right?
I understand that.
Podcast, we just show up. We talk about, you said you wanted to watch a little cabinet demo. I said, well, let's wait and check that out because I want to check it out too. We can talk about
Kaepernick, yeah,
that.
I watched the whole thing.
Well, it can't be a whole thing, right? Because it's episodes. It's not. It's not
Well, I watched it up until its end. It didn't say anything at the end about new episodes coming.
because it says a series. It was a series,
Right, and I watched. It was probably about 5 episodes, and then it was done.
Forget Kaepernick for just a second. Aaron Hernandez.
I haven't seen that yet. I watched the other one you told me to watch from plantation to penitentiary. Yeah,
You like that?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, so
I like it.
so we can talk about that.
The dude's still fighting for his freedom. Still,
We can talk. Hold on, but let me just. I want to challenge you to watch Aaron Hernandez.
Okay.
The reason I said Aaron Hernandez is because the way if you watch that show, I want to see if you get what I'm getting out of it.
Is it on the channel that you told me? Don't say no name because we don't want to give nobody no free.
Hell
shout
no,
out.
yeah, fuck them. Hey, but listen, so I'll show you. I'll talk to you later on. But the reason I asked you about that whole Aaron Hernandez deal is because they were acting strange about him committing a crime because he's a football player. Like they can't do that. Like we beat him out, beat him out. It's like no, dude. They're probably doing this. He's the one that got caught. I'm sure there's more than just him.
You know the theory that they got on Aaron Hernandez on why he killed himself after he got his
He said that he had
conviction overturned?
CF, whatever that brain.
No, the real reason why he.
That's what they promoted.
Well, this we talked about. I had this conversation when I was in prison with a lot of people, and they say that legally, by him getting his verdict overturned, he had other murders that they were going to charge him with in other states.
Right.
Well, legally, now that he got his verdict overturned, they can't take his NFL money from him. And his
Watch
family
this.
will be able to get
Watch
it.
this. I'm gonna tell you to watch it because at the end, the dude's mom pulled a fast one on his ass. Pulled a fast one. So you need to watch that shit.
So you saying they convicted the man from his grave?
Yes, sir. Hell yeah, they came. They appealed that. There was that's been on the books from a long time ago, and that he was from Connecticut, I think. It's been on books. They went back, appealed it, which I think is an ex post facto issue. Because what ex post factos mean, you can't be charged. You can't get charged with a crime after the fact. So he what he did is he won his case, and after he won his case, the court went back and made that valid, voided that law, so he could not use it. But I want you to watch it. We're not going to talk about it. Watch it from start to finish. I sat there and watched it. It's interesting. But my situation was like, why are they acting as though football players aren't killers when you put them on a field to go after the other guy and demolish him? And mentally in his mind, he's got to be borderline crazy.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm telling you to go. I'm saying borderline crazy because the way you raise them, you raise them.
Yeah, but if you love a game, you love a game. You love a sport, you love a sport.
Yeah, but you got your goal. We're not talking about high school. We're not talking about Pop Warner. We're not talking about them loving the game. We're talking about individuals at the height of their profession. NFL, and we're talking about them. If you put on a pair of pads and they hit you, they would basically send your ass to the hospital. That's the level. They're trying to. Their whole mentality is that
it's to win.
Well, that when you hit an individual is to go through that individual, to demolish that individual. You have to have a certain
mentality.
You have the aggression. Aggression. You know, so you can play football right now. You get the ball and you run past me. I'll try to go after you. If I miss you, I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I missed him. I missed that. I'll get him on the next play. Their mentality is not only that you're not going to get past me, that if you do get past me, they take that offensively and they're going to demolish. So their mentality is a lot.
So what if their motivation is not just to have that kind of killer mentality? What if their motivation is the money that they're making?
Yeah, it definitely is to a certain extent. I'm just saying to get up for the game. At a certain extent, you have to get up for the game. You're not paying. It's not me and you playing against each other. We're talking about the best of the best of the best of the best of the best playing every single day. My thing is not to distract. I'm just saying that my whole deal was when I watched it was the unbelievability that they believed. So the unbelievability of the fact that these individuals believe that Aaron Hernandez is the only individual in the NFL other than O.J. Simpson. Like we said, only people who get caught are murderers in the NFL. Like I'm like, no, his mentality. It wasn't the NFL made him who he was. That aggressiveness, that they condoned it. They allowed it to happen.
Not really. He had other factors in there too. Aaron Hernandez was running around with gang members and stuff too.
A lot of individuals.
He was a street dude though.
A lot of NBA, NFL individuals, or street individuals, or they claim. I see him in the club. They in the club, spree well. So I mean, I'm saying that Aaron, his behavior, for them to say that he's the only individual in the NFL, but the NFL also has a secretive police. That watches really their star players with somebody like Ben, Watzenberg,
Big Ben.
Yeah, Big Ben. Stop for a second. Got a battery or something. Condones that type of sadistic thought process. But we talk more about it when we get on it. When we get back.
Yeah. I gotta watch the series.
You gotta watch the series. But my deal is, whether or not, okay, well that's fine if you believe that there's not anybody in the NFL who's out there thinking that they could commit a murder, yet still they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. If you're ever in a club with anybody from the NFL or NBA, anything like that, when I was in Chicago, they basically like, oh, they run the city, pretty much do whatever the fuck they want to do, and so it's not like you can, like you're sitting here with them, and if you decide that they wanted to be in this cheer that you're in.
Technically, that's not true though. Remember, Randy Moss was getting in trouble.
That's Randy Moss.
Yeah,
that's Randy Moss. We're talking about we're talking about Kevin Garnett. Let's talk about Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett, I think
he did get in trouble. He had the key to the city.
J.R. Ryder did.
J.R. Ryder didn't have the key to the city. Kevin Garnett. I'm just saying, like, I'm saying, but he's in he's in New England, Boston. And
I see what you're saying. The Stars are getting the key to the city and the run of the lay of the land.
And they're pretty much going to cover their. Okay, I'm about to bust your ass out, but I'm waiting till we get on camera and watch. You're gonna remember this. You're gonna remember this. We're recording, guys. We're back. This is episode 4. I got something to say. We're back, and we're talking about. Ron hasn't seen it. I've seen it. Arron Hernandez, and I was just shocked by the fact that the NBA or NFL believes that he was the only murderer that they had. So we're back right now. We're talking about this is. I got something to say. We are
the voice of the voice.
Ron B in the middle. This is SAF Moe, your prison lawyer, and I watched the Arron Hernandez little demo. I'd been watching it back and forth, and I finally took time to watch the whole thing, and it was just, to me, it was unbelievable what the NFL believes that Arron Hernandez was the only murderer they're hiding, yet still the behavior that they allow for these individuals to have on the field. To me, it made sense to me. It didn't make sense to me that they believed that. But back to Ron, back to you, and you were basically saying that the NFL, they're
I don't think it's intentional on the NFL's behalf. I think some people are bad people and some people are good people, and people make decisions in life and do what they do. As far as like getting in trouble and stuff, Arron Hernandez made some bad decisions.
And I believe personally that the NFL does condone that behavior. Like I said before, they have a secretive police that sort of follows those guys around and makes sure that they don't, if they do get into trouble, they sort of mitigate the behavior, right? So if they like with Ben, they had somebody sort of floating around, and what they knew what his behavior was.
Talking about when he had the rape case.
Couple of them.
It just disappeared.
Exactly.
Like it never happened.
So his behavior, they were able to sweep underneath the rug. I'm saying now. So in your positioning, you're saying, well, maybe I do, I don't. Like let's stop talking about Arron Hernandez. Let's talk about us.
That go back to what I was telling you a couple episodes ago when I said we was talking about the OJ trial, and we were talking about people that see court on TV. Like on court TV, you've seen the OJ trial, and you think that's really how it goes for everybody, but it doesn't go like that for everybody. It only goes like that if you got OJ money.
Right.
Arron Hernandez has a lot of money. He was able to get his verdict overturned. Big Ben has a lot of money, and he has the NFL behind him as well. And I believe there's some sweeping under rugs and stuff like that going on, but you got to understand, they have $1 billion business that they're trying to keep with a good face.
And I'm telling you that it's impossible for me to believe that, because what happened to you and I one night when we were out, long time ago. We were at the club and Spree-Roll was there.
Oh.
Exactly. Now hold my ass, because so when we start talking,
we didn't go to jail that night though.
It's not about going to jail. It's his. It's not his.
It was his behavior.
It's his behavior.
Yeah, he got mad. The Trail Spree-Roll got mad because his girl knew me and she was talking to me and she gave me a hug and he got mad and I was like, you just because you're a celebrity don't mean that I can't have a girl that you have or know a girl that you know. I mean, it wasn't like I was trying to get with her. Now we were just talking because we knew each other.
Right.
And he got jealous.
Right. And it was, we were in the area. We were in the
ballet area.
I was getting right out of my vehicle and just the interaction with him, his mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So where did that come from? He's a superstar and you nobody? I'm saying, so that's why Arron Hernandez did what he did.
They have a level of arrogance.
Exactly, and then this behavior that they have, to me, has all the necessary social path of behavior of individuals who commit murder.
You tricked me too. You know I don't like dropping names.
No, fuck to be real.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It happened a long time ago.
I understand.
He's not even relevant anymore.
Right.
It's not like I'm bringing something up like, oh, it was just a club last night. I'm not trying to drop names for. I know this is long. This is what 10, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. But that happened, and it's pertinent to the conversation,
right?
Because we were dealing with an individual. It actually happened. You know what I'm saying?
Next time we just gonna say it was an NBA player at the club that we was at, and this happened. I just don't like dropping names.
I've been in a club with a bunch of their asses and dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? And I just said when they played that air, and I was thinking about going to prison myself because that's before I went to prison and being around them, and just me being, I'm not even a celebrity. But just being a VIP and the way they treat you, you know, because I got into trouble. I was with one of the dudes from the Wolves. Y'all don't think he was with me that night. I was by myself, and something ended up happening, and it was just all about a table. He was in front of one of my tables, and he was just standing there, right? And I'm sitting down. I'm at the table sitting down, but because he's a superstar, he just walks into the club and he fucking stands in front of my goddamn table. Like, get the fuck away, you know, get this dude away. But then it's a broad ended up coming over to my table too, and she started acting stupid, and we get into it, you know, and so shit ended up going out. They escorted me out of the back door. She ended up getting charged. Just, and I mean, at that time, it just that behavior right there. They get that behavior on 1,000 when it comes to them. So when it comes to NBA players, and I just need you to watch that video, watch that series, because to me it makes no sense when you think about it from a person who's been convicted of a crime, and that whole deal he was trying to do did not work. So maybe makes you want.
I'm gonna look at it.
Don't go to the end. Watch the whole.
No. I'm gonna look at it.
Because they thought they were slick, but I'm not trying to say that he wasn't. I wouldn't thought about, like, you know, taking care of my family and committing suicide and everything. But it was. You know, they're probably still well off, but you know, it didn't work out the way he wanted it to work out.
Okay. You
know, so yeah, but so.
But you know, they get away with a lot of stuff because of money.
Talks.
You ever, if you look at federal court documents, it tells you that your crime could be paid off.
Yeah.
And without jail time.
Right. Like
you can pay thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or millions of dollars without having to go to jail. And you pay it off, you pay this fine. It says and or a fine of up to this much money. So when you got millions and millions of dollars, you can afford to get out of trouble.
And I'm telling you, I got something to say. I want to thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you guys for looking out for us. SoundCloud, YouTube. I got something to say. Or Instagram. I got something to say.
Spotify.
Spreaker. That's
Preaker.
Yeah, we need to get. I bought some stuff for you to remind me to get it to you.
Okay. And shout out to Tiffany's Barbershop.
Yeah.
Shout out to Billy's on Grand.
Oh, shout out to everybody who's been supporting me. I'm the star. Thank you. Hey, so we're just chilling. So back to we were watching. I told you to check it out. I hit you up. I was like, man, check out
From Plantation to Prison.
and that was a cold ass piece.
It was.
Reason
I didn't even
told
finish
you-
watching it yet.
reason
But
I
what
told-
I've seen so far, I like it.
But I told you about that Seneca, which is the New York Central Park, where black folks lived. Black folks, Rondo, Black Wall Street. They kicked all of them out of it so they can do Central Park. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when Chantel was here talking to us about the whole situation, and we went to Rondo, Taste of Rondo. Shout out to Taste of Rondo. Good food. I like the chicken. I'm probably over there this weekend. I was like, it's got to be more places. Seneca Village, Seneca. Check when you set that out, it's gonna hurt your heart. They kicked all those black folks out of Central Park, so they could have Central Park. They could have State Park. That's another one of those deals they did. Like people aren't talking about it. So it's just, to me, it's just ridiculous. But back to Mr. Kevin Rennie Smith, which the sort of story sort of centralizes around about this dirty prosecutor who hooked him up.
Still there working.
Ain't going nowhere. Ain't going nowhere. And this is why I thought I had something to say was important to get rid of individuals like him, to get him on the show, to talk to him, to ask him what the fuck is your fucking problem? Why'd you convict this man for 27 years? Then you have enough nerve not to advocate to get this man. He didn't get anything. I don't think he got any money.
No, he's still on paper. He's on lifetime parole.
Yeah, remember he's saying that he can't even go visit his grandchildren.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, he said he can't go visit his grandchildren. And he said he could go, but he got to get permission.
Get the fuck out! This what slave? What is this, slavery?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I understand his situation.
Yeah.
Lifetime. What'd you say? Parole.
Lifetime parole. He's on lifetime parole.
Yeah, lifetime parole.
He has to get permission to do everything he does.
They got him fucked up for a crime he did not commit. And the prosecutor, there's so much prosecutory misconduct within this case. It's ridiculous.
Did you see where they where the witness against him said that it wasn't him? He never seen him at the scene. And then the prosecutor locked the witness up and threatened him to lock him up for 7 years in prison if he didn't recant his story and say that he seen him at that scene. Yeah,
that's what they do, and that's not their job, but that's what they do. That's why when you ask me a question, it's like, are there any good prosecutors? Are there any good law enforcement? So you might say, oh, he's just one. And that's what the system wants you to do.
Bad apples in every
No. That's what the system wants you to believe, that it's only one bad apple.
No. I don't say that there's only one bad apple.
No.
But I say it's some that work in cahoots with each other, and I've seen it. I've seen
it to the point where you take New York, and I'll give it to New York. I'll take Chicago. I'll give you Florida. I'll give you Texas. Give you California.
I've seen it firsthand happening in Florida.
No, listen. I'm gonna give you that because let's say those states are so big that you're gonna get bad apples. But why the fuck are we in Minnesota, country ass, white ass Minnesota, and they're doing the same thing? Seen it happen on my case. I seen it happen, and you see, I'm gonna bring my brother Skits on. He's going. I had him talk about his case, about how Amy Klobuchar and them put that case against them down. Why is it happening here in lily white Minnesota? Why are they doing it here? So you see your conversation loses validity. It becomes not. So when you say Minnesota, this all white town, why are they doing it?
It happens everywhere.
Exactly.
It is no place in America that's predominantly black.
No, we're not talking about white, black, or white. We're talking about why are these prosecutors utilizing the system to lock up black individuals? You know what I'm saying? Like he went out his way to put this man underneath for 27 years, not 10, not 5, not 2.5, 27 fucking years.
Yeah, and he still got him.
And he's still dealing with it.
Yeah, he still got him in the system.
Yeah. So why would you do something like that to somebody you do not know just to further your career? And I'm telling you, in Minnesota, in these little small towns, they're doing the same thing. I read cases. I'm like, why is this prosecutor making it so difficult for this man to prove his case? And then going,
but I don't think that. I think they pick and choose the ones they want to do like that.
mostly
Some
black.
people, yeah, some people have, and the guy, what's his name again?
Kevin Rennie Smith.
All right, he goes on to tell you in the documentary. He said, I wasn't no angel or nothing like that.
Doesn't matter.
I understand that.
Yeah.
He said,
We weren't angels.
No, but what I'm saying, I'm saying that to say this. Sometimes your background hurts you more than anything. I'll give you a prime example of that. And I talked about this before. I was blessed to be able to get a clear background check on getting my job and getting into my apartment. I can't count it as nothing but a blessing from God. But when I went to fill out the application to be the caretaker at my apartment complex, that background check was a little bit more extensive and it picked up everything. Yeah. And I was turned down for the job. Basically what I'm saying is my background hurt me. Yeah,
that's fine. But that's totally separate from a prosecutor going out his way.
But if he's looking at your record, if he's looking at your record and he's
not the jury though.
But he's looking at the record, but he has a job to do, the prosecution. I'm not saying he's right for what he did. Yeah. I'm just make that clear. I'm not saying that he's right for what he did. But at the end of the day, he has a job to do, and all he's looking at is this paper. He doesn't know this man's character from knowing him like this. He knows this man's character from looking at his file he got on him.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's fine.
And that's where he has to build his case from.
Right. And I'm just saying that, to me, it happens more so than not. It happens more so to African-American males. Because remember, when Chantel was here, remember what she talked about? She talked about behavior and how they start marking your behavior.
From the age of 3.
Exactly. So now, Mr. Winnie might have had a disciplinary record through high school because he's a bigger guy. So he has a rougher voice. So the teachers might not have, he wasn't that blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid. So they might have started sending him to the principal office. Doesn't mean he's a bad guy. But if that prosecutor's looking at that record, that doesn't justify him giving this man 27 years.
What else does he have to go on, though?
What he needs to do? Go on the case. Huh? Charge the case. Charge the case. Do his job. His job is not as a prosecutor.
He was dead wrong for making that witness.
No, I'm saying, I'm gonna tell you wrong. And I'm telling you, as a prosecutor, his job is not to convict you. His job is to find the fucking to find the truth. Right. That's his job. Right. He's charged by the state to go out there and find truth. Right. Not to prosecute. His job has turned into a persecutor. That's what he does. Yeah. So I'm like, I was so fucking hot when I seen that shit. I want to jump through and strangle that motherfucker, man, because he's bullshit.
And he talked to them on there. The prosecutor talked to them on there.
Talked to who?
He talked to the cameras.
No, yeah. No, but he was doing that part. I don't think he ever agreed to. They took it. He was doing an interview for a
news channel.
Yeah, a news channel, and he was bragging about how and that's the same thing with He said, when I'm trying to prosecute somebody, he said, the gloves come off. I do everything I can to within the law. Within the law. That's a goddamn. You know it's a law, and that's what I'm saying. Only thing I'm trying to tell you is that, from my standpoint, it's like, okay, I would go with you. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? Maybe they're not all that. Maybe he needed to go to jail. Maybe he did so because he admitted it. Like you said, he was like, hey, I was out there. I mean,
he said he wasn't no angel.
Yeah, he was. He's putting.
He said there's a lot of stuff that he never got caught for that he did.
And I'm saying to myself, okay, well, but then I look at it too. I'm like, okay, why are we here in Minnesota and we're talking about the same thing? I'm telling you the same thing.
I told you it happens everywhere,
and I'm telling you why. Black males is happening everywhere. It's not white males. Well, it's not happening to white males anywhere. I know that's not a lie. They're they do get wrongfully convicted
It's
also.
just not talked about.
Not on the same levels
Right.
that we're getting wrongly convicted.
Right.
Because I know several individuals who were fighting their cases.
You take the crack laws, for instance.
Oh my
it would
God.
happen to it.
But I'm gonna break one day. I'm gonna break that down for you. It's not just the crack laws. It was when Biden and all them passed those laws. See what the federal government does. See, the federal government doesn't pass statutes. States pass statutes. But in order for the state wants to build a highway. So the state says, okay, I'm going to put a highway down. I want to put 94 down. The government might come out like, we got a bill that's giving money out to states who build highways down, because we want to improve the highways. So the state, in order for the state to get the money, the state must put in a proposal. So the same thing happens with money for bills. So when they passed that 100-to-1 ratio, they were trying to promote that as it's almost, they promoted it almost like a rollout of a highway. So they were giving states money when they locked people up underneath these new statutes that were copycats of 100-to-1. You know what this dumbass state fucking Minnesota does? It goes out. So say if you, the biggest thing back in the days for
They still didn't fix it.
let me tell you exactly what the state of Minnesota does when that federal money comes down for the 100-to-1. They go out and they take, if you steal a car, and I take a car, it goes grand. But if you take a car and it's got money in it, Minnesota was allowed the statute to be aggravated. So because they looked at crime, and one thing I did like when I talked to Vernon, the liquor store owner that's going to come in eventually and talk to us, is that they criminalize behavior. So what they started noticing is in inner cities, African American males were stealing cars that had money inside the car. That was their modus. Like, you look in a car, and before you break into the car, you look in the car and see that it has change,
money in the ashtray,
whatever it had.
like that,
If the car had less than $100 in the car, they aggravated it and gave you more time.
Less than 100?
Yes, sir. State of Minnesota did it. They've been covering, they've been shipped. Biden and his little buddies. In the state of Minnesota, they're like I said. You want to play games and act like these prosecutors are like, no. I'm telling you, and I'm telling you what they do. I'm telling you how dirty and corrupt they are. If you stole a car, because most cars don't have more than $100 in it.
Right.
You're gonna keep changing the car.
Changing it
So
once.
all you needed was for the police officer to go in the car and for you to say that they had change.
Money in the ashtray.
Money in the ashtray. That was enough to aggravate my sentence and gave me more time. Why? Because it's happening in inner city, and that's what they were after. They flipped it. When I keep going on this, they did the same thing with checks. They just say but when I went back and did my research, it all follows the 100-to-1. When that 100-to-1 ratio came out for crack cocaine, they put it through all these different statutes in order for them to get federal money, because they were locking people up underneath it. So they must have had something like some type of earmark underneath there. The more people got locked up underneath it, you know what I'm saying? So the president can go back and say, you know what, it's working perfectly fine. And it was all geared at inner city individuals and their criminal behavior.
It's kind of like what they used to do over in North Minneapolis. They had this night. Every now and then, Minneapolis it's like Code 4. Code 4 was an operation where Minneapolis police, north side of Minneapolis police, were using to random. If it happened to be a Code 4 night, the Minneapolis police had the green light to stop over any vehicle that they felt like was suspicious. And it caused me to get robbed one night.
What?
Yeah, it caused me to get robbed one night because it was Code 4. This was when I was selling marijuana, and I had 18 pounds of marijuana. I was over in North Minneapolis, and I had my homie come over there to take it to my house, because I didn't like being in North Minneapolis with drugs like that, because of the robbery factor. And then when he got there, he told me, he said, man, it's Code 4 tonight. They pulling over everything over here tonight. I said, well, make sure you come back early in the morning and come get this stuff. So he never made it back in the morning before somebody came to the house and robbed me that night. That morning, early in the morning before he got there. And dude had the gun in my face, and I had 2 suitcases, one with my clothes in it. They were identical suitcases, and one with the weed in it. And I was gonna give him the bag with the clothes in it, but in my head I said, you know what, man, you don't want to get killed behind this shit. Just give him the right bag, but I almost lost my life behind a cold Fortnite.
I just say, like I said, it was that plantation to penitentiary. I usually don't even watch that shit. Mm-hmm. I just so happened I kept bypassing it, and then someone just told me, "Hey, check it out." Mm-hmm. And then I started watching. I like the sister on it, the lawyer.
Oh yeah.
Bad sister.
Yeah.
Bad sister.
Yeah.
So I want to reach out.
She's
to her.
smart.
Yeah, I want to reach out to her and talk to her. I'm gonna Facebook.
Her name is Shabazz. Something
Yeah,
Shabazz.
yeah. I'm gonna reach out to her and see if I can either get a phone video call from her, or just a call from her, just to talk to her, because that's a bad sister. And I mean to the point, you know what I'm saying, like to the point, like I look at Michelle Alexander, and I read her book, and what upset me about Michelle Alexander's book, and you read it, right? You read Michelle, like what is it? It's fun sister too. She don't look like that right now. But so what got me upset, I read her book, and what got me upset about her book was that she was an attorney, and the reason she understands this and what's going on was during the time she was an attorney. Then she left like NAACP, wherever she worked for, and she went into collegiate, and she became a law professor, and she wrote the book. So the problem I have with a lot of those situations is that individuals within the trenches, because they know the business.
That's the one that lost her job while she was going to school and stuff.
No, that's not. This is that we're talking about 2 different people.
Okay.
So Michelle Alexander is the one that wrote the New Joke.
Right.
The lady that she didn't lose her job. She just was on her last semester, like me. She's on her last semester, and it came down to it. She needed money to finish, and they said you could work for this web program and go clean up parks. And she was like, "Hey, just give me money to help me finish school because I'm my BA at the time, and I can make money. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to deal with this." And they were like, "No." But back to Michelle Alexander, the reason I have this love-hate relationship with the scenarios is because she found out what was going on. When she could actually correct the problem, she disengaged herself, went into college, wrote the book. Now, I'm not killing her. She didn't have to write the book, right? She didn't have to do anything. She kept her mouth shut. She could have went to court, she could do whatever. But the fact of the matter is that you got all these African-American males suffering, and because of the criminal justice system. And when she's in a position to do something, she doesn't. She goes into college, teaches, and maybe she, in her mind, she's like, hey, the next prosecutor, maybe I can change his mind. But it doesn't work like that, right? Because the system is set up in a way that that's why I said it. That's why I always go back to there's no good police officers, no good correction officers, because it weeds them out. See how it weeded her out? Instead of her staying in the system and being able to be a lawyer where you could write her and say, hey, Michelle, I need your help.
You recently retracted that statement on something. You said, you know what, when you asked me, do I think there's any good cops out there, anything, you said it was this one.
I said Roby.
Yeah.
I said Roby. Roby was Roby, but it doesn't. Roby still would. Roby, in my mind, said if you asked me a question like, "What is a good CO?" I would say Roby. Roby, if it was a riot, Roby's coming in.
Do you still label him as bad because he's with that group? He's in that gang.
I label him. I don't. I label Roby as bad, being that his job does not allow. And he would be honest. If I brought Roby on right now, he would tell. That's what I'm saying. Roby would tell you. That's the conversations we had. And the funny thing about it, remember when we were in Stillwater and that black CO pulled up on us? I called my buddy up. Listen, man, you know that dude from New York? You know the dude from New York that was overhead? He pulled up on me and talking all type of shit. I told him who the fuck I was and told his ass to get the fuck. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, man, Joe. He's like, listen, this is my buddy from the joint. Still locked up. Nobody personally. No. When he told me his name, he's like, man, he's like, listen, he's showing up. He's like, Buddy's not even like that. Nah, he's like, I done had real convos with him. Yeah. He's nothing like that. In fact, he got mad when I was talking about him. I was like, Buddy Roman, I know that. Buddy good. He's one of us. He's good.
So he only did that because his partner was in the car.
The white dude sitting next door. He's like, white dude was, and we was on camera, so we had to do it.
Right.
He's like, man, because he was a CEO in the gym, and I remember I used to go to the gym all the time. Mm-hmm. He used to say to himself, and we was complimenting when he got at the guys for baggers. I was like, hey, got your back, looking good. He's like, but I never really topped it up with him. My buddy did though. And he's like, man, Joe, he's nothing. He's just doing that. He's just acting.
What is her book? You know what I'm talking about?
Michelle Alexander. I have no clue who that is.
You know, it's a book that was famous. Everybody, Google. I can't even think of the name of it. That's because I figured that you were gonna.
I read a lot of books.
No, you read her book. Her book is super. Everybody talks about it. Let me go on real quick. You know, when I show it to you, you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I know." What's
What's her name? Michelle
Alexander.
I got something to say. You recording? I got something to say.
I do. It's with this girl named Kelsey. I met her when I was in a joint. So I'm not sure.
Was that your application?
So yeah, it's gonna. I just got some hot. No, I'm just gonna probably cut some shit off.
Incredibly red, right? After what he said, like he's applying me for pen pal Tinder.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, what's going on? Oh, here we go. Yeah, I was just like, hey, I just, people are gonna see it and.
I got something to say.
Shut me up.